Good, man.
Tough fight?
Yeah, tough. You know, anytime you go the distance, you know, get some bumps and bruises and stuff like that.
What's it like coming down here to New York and fighting on a card like this where there's so many New Yorkers on the card?
Yeah, I mean, I was just in Brazil where every single fight had a Brazilian, you know, and I fought a Brazilian again, you know, so it wasn't too out of my element. The temperature was a little different here. I didn't expect it to be this muggy and humid and stuff like that, so I kind of just hung out in the hotel a lot more. I didn't go out and do anything at all. I just stayed indoors. No, it's not.
It's your first time fighting in the U.S.?
Yes, it is, yeah.
And does this feel any different to you, or was
the
that
taxes,
like a bucket? Yeah, more
they
here,
hurt,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
are you annoyed that you're fighting here?
What's that?
Are you annoyed?
I'm glad I did it once. I mean, I would like to be fighting in Canada after that. I mean, I like to travel though. You know, this is part of the experience, is getting out and going to places and stuff like that. So I'm definitely glad that, you know, U.S. was on the list, right? But after moving forward, I would like to be, you know, just fighting Canada. That makes the most sense. Or Vegas. You know, that's been my goal since I started fighting, was I want to fight in Vegas on a UFC card. This is back 16 years old when I started fighting, you know, so I want to make sure I get that on the bucket list for sure.
Right.
But for the most part, I would like to be fighting in Canada. That's my home.
They're picking back up. I mean, more shows in Canada now, but they taped
Yeah.
there for a while. So how does that kind of jive with you know, your kind of the schedule that you want to keep?
Yeah, as long as the cards line up. But at the end of the day, I'm a fighter, right? So it doesn't really matter where. As long as they got the octagon there and they got an opponent for me, then I'm all game. But if it matches up where I can fight here or in Canada, it's definitely going to be Canada. But I'm not going to wait around for a Canadian card. You know, I just want to fight. You know, this timeline every 4 months is ideal. But yeah, just whenever they're ready for me.
Were you happy with your performance?
I'm never happy with my performance just because I know how much better I am. But I definitely expected to win, and I'm glad I did win. You know, so you can never be too discouraging on yourself on a win. But there's a lot of things I could do differently. But that comes with the age, man. I'm 24 years old. You know, I had 3 fights in the UFC now, 3-0. So it's gonna get nothing but better. I'm getting better every time. In the gym, I felt like a completely different fighter at the end of this training camp compared to the last. And there's things there's always got to be tweaked, you know. And I know what I'm capable of. So I'm never happy until I get that performance where I'm like, damn, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, you know, starching these guys. So yeah, it's coming. What's
the biggest thing that you'd like to change?
Just the stubbornness. Like, it's a good thing because I don't want to give an inch. I want to win every second of every round. That's my, just, you know, stubborn in that sense. Like, I don't want to let you even get a different angle on me, kind of thing, you know. So that creates me to be really sticky and win these rounds. But I'm not being able to create that much distance to be able to really damage, because I don't want them, you know, giving them that inch where now they've got a you know, chance in the fight. I like to just try to smother you and drown you, and I think that's what's causing these guys where I'm killing them on the scorecards, but I want to be, you know, crushing these guys, you know. So that's just something that's got to come out on me.
Afterwards, you said you wanted Gray Maynard.
Yeah.
Why him?
He's got a name. Everyone knows who Gray Maynard is, you know. He's coming off of a win. He's right out there outside of the top 15, if not, you know, right around there. I'm looking to break into the top 15. He's coming off of a win. He just fought, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're on that same timeline. I know, you know, it just makes the most sense that way. But really, anybody that I want a guy who has a name, I can tell people, hey, I'm fighting this guy, and they know.
Yeah.
Instead of me having to, you know, explain it or whatever. I'm in the UFC now. I want to be fighting these name guys. And yeah, if they're in the top 15, even better. But I want them coming off of a win, and you know, that's it. His name just came to my head because, you know, he's a well-established guy.
If he hadn't won his last fight.
No, I'm not interested. No, I want a guy who has momentum behind him. You know, I don't want to pick on a guy who's coming off a loss, right?
Had a little bit of a rough patch after a while.
Yeah, you know, so now he's back. He dropped down to the featherweights. I think he lost to Ryan Hall, and then he just beat Teruto.
Ishihara.
Yeah, so you know, he's coming off of a win. Let's do it. You know, that's what I'd like.
Were you impressed? Like, he said afterwards that he thought it was his best showing, and I think most would agree, in quite some time.
Yeah.
Were you impressed with him?
Exactly. That's why I won it. You know, he stuck out to me because it was an exciting fight, and I watched Gray Maynard when he fought Frankie Edgar in on that New Year's card way back in the day.
UFC 125.
And I was a fan. I was just a kid there.
Wow.
So to think now, fast forward how many years, and I could be possibly fighting him. That'd be amazing.
In Edmonton, is that the ideal scenario?
Edmonton works for me. I mean, it's a little close, but it's Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm healthy. It's a Canadian card. Makes sense. If he's ready, I'm ready. You know, if not anything after that, I want to try to get one in before the end of the year, though.
I mean, you had mentioned roughly 4 months in between earlier.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, if the match shows up and I'm in shape, I can just keep riding right through. But if not, ideally, it'd be like a November thing. Would be the best.
You were talking earlier how it was very hot and humid here, and so you kind of didn't do much leading up to the event. Did that affect your training at all, or just the events leading up in fight week?
Yeah, it was just fight week, kind of just lazy, laying around in the hotel. I spent a lot of hours in my bed, watching Netflix and stuff like that. So typically I like to kind of be a little bit more active, make, the weight comes off a little bit better that way. You're kind of you're flowing through the week easier rather than just laying in bed thinking about scenarios of the fight constantly, right? It's mentally draining more than anything, right? So I was just sitting there like just anxious, just roller coaster of emotions all week.
You didn't pop over to the fair?
What's that? No, they kept me up a couple nights there, yeah.
Like fried Oreos or
Yeah, no, nothing like that.
Congrats.
Yeah, thanks a lot, appreciate it.